The traditional way to recruit producers is to call them, pitch them, and hope they say yes. It works, but it's expensive, slow, and you're competing with every other agency calling the same names. There's a better way. Use content to make the right producers reach out to you on their schedule, already pre-sold on what your agency stands for. This training is about how to do that. Content recruiting is the deliberate creation of public, useful material that signals to the right producers that your agency is the place they want to be. It's the same idea as content marketing for clients applied to talent. The difference is the audience and the message. Instead of speaking to people who buy insurance, you're speaking to people who sell it. Why this matters? The best producers are not actively looking for a job. They're heads down in their book, taking care of clients, and they don't browse job boards. They're busy. They're also quietly observant. They notice agencies that look organized, modern, and well-led. They notice the agency owners who show up consistently with a clear point of view. By the time they're ready to make a move, they've already decided which agencies they'll consider. Your content is what puts you on that list. Here's the leverage. A single post that reaches 300 local agents in your market can generate more inbound recruiting interest than 3 months of cold outreach. Not because it goes viral, because it puts your agency in front of exactly the people you want to hire on a channel they're already on with a message that earns their attention. Done well, content recruiting compounds. Done poorly, it just adds noise. The structure is what makes the difference. 4 content pillars drive recruiting interest: behind the scenes, producer wins and stories, owner point of view, and direct asks. Each pillar has a job. Together they create the picture of an agency a top producer wants to join. Behind the scenes is the most underused. This is content that shows what working at your agency actually feels like. The training meeting on Tuesday morning, the producer board with the leaderboard for the month, the team lunch you bought after a big enrollment week, a short video walking through your office. The way you onboard a new hire. Producers are evaluating culture before they ever talk to you, and they can only evaluate what they can see. Show it. Producer wins and stories are the second pillar. When a producer on your team has a great month, a big breakthrough, or a story worth telling, share it publicly. Anonymized if needed, but specific. The new agent who hit 100 applications in his first 90 days, the veteran who switched to your agency and doubled her income in 18 months, the producer who used your training process to close a market segment she'd been struggling with for years. These stories tell other producers, that could be me. That's the message. Don't make them connect the dots themselves. Owner point of view is the third pillar. This is your perspective on the industry, the work, and the kind of agency you're building. Why you do things differently. What you believe about producer development that most agencies get wrong. What you stand for and what you refuse to compromise on. This pillar attracts producers who agree with your stance and repels the ones who don't, which is exactly what you want. Recruiting through content isn't about catching everyone. It's about pre-qualifying the right ones. Direct asks are the fourth pillar, used sparingly. Every 5 or 6 pieces of content, you can make a clear ask. We're hiring 2 producers in the next 90 days. If you've been thinking about a move, this is the kind of agency we're building. Send me a message. The reason direct asks work is because they're rare. If every post is a job posting, people scroll past. If most of your content shows the work and the people and the perspective, then a direct ask once or twice a month feels like a natural invitation, not noise. The right channel matters. For most agency builders recruiting in their region, LinkedIn is the highest leverage platform. It's where producers maintain professional profiles. It's where industry conversations happen. It's where decisions about career moves quietly start. If you're going to invest in one channel for content recruiting, make it LinkedIn. That doesn't mean ignore others. Facebook and YouTube reach producers who watch insurance content for client work and notice the leaders behind the camera. Industry podcasts, even local or regional ones, are powerful platforms for owner voice. But LinkedIn is the foundation. Build the consistent rhythm there first. A practical weekly cadence looks like this: 2 posts a week minimum, 4 if you can sustain it. Mix the 4 pillars across the month so any producer who scrolls your feed sees behind the scenes, hears your point of view, sees a producer's story, and gets 1 direct invitation. The same producer might check your page 4 times over 6 months before they ever message you. Each visit they should leave with a slightly clearer picture of who you are. Format-wise, short video is the strongest tool. A 60-second clip of you walking through your training process, or a producer telling her own story on camera beats a 1,000-word post every time. People recruit other people, not paragraphs. They want to see your face, hear your voice, and watch the team you're building. Photos and text posts work as connective tissue. Videos do the heavy lifting. Let's walk through what this looks like in practice. James runs a 15-agent agency in the Carolinas. 3 years ago, his recruiting was all outbound. Cold calls to producers, lunches, follow-ups, and a hit rate of about 1 in 50. He spent 10 hours a week on it and brought on 3 new producers a year. Today, he runs 0 outbound recruiting and brings on 2 to 3 producers a quarter. The shift was content. Here's what he did. Year 1, he committed to 2 LinkedIn posts a week, every week. He used the 4-pillar mix. One Monday post was usually behind the scenes. His training meeting, his onboarding doc, his pipeline review process. His Thursday post was usually a producer story or a point of view essay. He averaged about 600 views per post for the first 6 months. Nothing impressive on the surface. Year 2, he layered in video. Every other Thursday post became a short video. He started a monthly podcast interviewing one producer on his team about their journey. 15 to 20 minutes distributed on the major platforms. 6 months in, his videos averaged 2,000 views, and the podcast was being shared inside other agencies in his market. Producers started messaging him. He had a queue forming. Year 3, the queue started converting. A producer at a national call center who'd been watching for 14 months sent him a message. She joined 3 months later. 2 newer agents in his market reached out after seeing his onboarding video and asking if he'd consider hiring less experienced producers. He hired one of them. By the end of year 3, he was bringing on producers without ever making a cold call, and the producers he was attracting were already pre-sold on his approach because they'd been watching for months. Less than 3 hours a week once he had the rhythm. Less time than he used to spend on cold outreach in 2 days, with better results. A few common mistakes to avoid. The first is broadcasting open positions instead of building a story. Where hiring posts are the closing argument, not the whole presentation. If a producer has never seen anything else from you, the hiring post does almost nothing. Spend 90% of your content telling the story of the agency. Spend 10% making the ask. The second is sounding corporate. The agency's producers want to join feel personal, opinionated, and led by a real human being. The agency's producers ignore feel like brochures. Write the way you talk in your team meetings. Use your voice. Take a stance. Producers can smell corporate speak from a mile away, and they tune it out. The third is hiding the team. The agency owner shouldn't be the only face on the content. Producers want to see the people they'd be working alongside. Get your team on camera. Let them tell their own stories. Producers evaluating you are also evaluating. Would these be my colleagues? And they need to see them to answer that question. The fourth is inconsistency. 2 posts a week for 2 years beats 15 posts in 1 month and then silence. The producer watching you isn't going to dive in if your last post was 4 months ago. Consistency is the signal that you're a real, ongoing operation worth a conversation. Here's your action step. This week, do 3 things. Audit your last 20 LinkedIn posts. How many are behind the scenes, producer stories, owner point of view, or direct asks? If most are generic or hiring only, you've got a redesign in front of you. Write down 2 posts for next week, 1 behind the scenes and 1 point of view, and block 30 minutes to record a short video walking through one thing your agency does well: your onboarding, your training rhythm, your pipeline review. That's your first piece of recruiting content. The producers you want are watching. They've been watching for months, while you've been ignoring the channel that decides whether they ever pick up the phone. Show the work, share the wins, take a stance, make the ask. The right producers will find you.